Hello, Narf Sounds here. How to load individual combis into your Kronos whilst preserving all the linked data to make it work properly is what this is all about. I've got my Kronos, which I've had for over 11 years, and this one is full of user programs. And I only have a few slots left for third-party packs, like the 80s and Beyond Booster Pack, which you might have just purchased. What I'm going to do is just first load my combi. So I'm just going to load one, and it's going to be She Blinded Me with Science. The nice thing about loading combis is that they can be loaded anywhere. So that's what we're going to do. First, find out where you want to put your combi. So I've got user bank B in combi mode, and my empty combi slot is B105. So I'll be putting She Blinded Me with Science into B105. Let's go to disk mode. In disk mode, locate the folder that contains the PCG file from which the sounds will come from. In this case, I've got the Kronos Booster Pack V3, and I'll open that one, and I'll select the PCG file that actually contains the sounds. In this pack, there's a set list PCG, and there is a PCG containing the actual sounds. So I'll be opening Kronos Booster Pack V3 PCG. Just press open and locate the combinations folder. Press that and open. Now my combinations are only contained in one folder. It's in there. It's in Bank UB. Open that one and locate She Blinded Me with Science. Now once you've selected that, you can press load. And this one by default will load to 39. And 39 is already occupied with sound. So I'm going to press that and change that location into B105, which is the empty combination slot. So I'm going to select that and press OK. So now I've loaded the combi into B105, and because it's pointing to the wrong programs, it won't sound right. So this is not She Blinded Me with Science. So at this point, take note of the programs that are used by the combi. So I'll just have a look at the program numbers. So each timbre has a program number. Timbre 1, it says G119. I've prepared a spreadsheet over here, and I'm just going to populate that with the necessary data. I have G119, and I'll just put in G119, GG112, and I'll put GG112 here. Timbre isn't used, so I don't have to write that down. So at the moment, I don't have to worry about what's already in there because we're going to load the correct ones into the empty slots. So now that we've listed all the required programs, it's time to find out what program locations are empty on your Kronos. So now I'm going to go to program mode, and I'm going to identify empty HD1 programs and empty EXi programs. If you've had a Kronos for a while, you know that the HD1 and the EXi programs can't coexist in the same bank. So you have to identify which banks are actually empty for each bank type. So I'm just going to scroll through the different banks and find out what's still available. And usually they'll be found towards the end of the bank. So as you can see, this particular Kronos is jam-packed. So here in user EE, I've got a few blank programs here. So to identify whether it's an EXi or HD1, if you see that it says init program, that means the bank type is HD1. So I'll go back to my spreadsheet, and you can prepare it exactly the way it is here. I'm going to note down the empty slots for HD1. I can see that from EE109 to EE115, there are empty slots. So I'm going to note that down into my spreadsheet under my Kronos HD1 right here. And EE109 is empty, 109, right, until EE115. So I'll just select that, and I'm just going to drag that down, and that's going to note down all the vacant EE slots in the HD1 bank. Okay, so that's done. Now I'm going to find empty EXi banks. If you see init EXi program, that means this bank is an EXi bank. and I have 5 remaining empty slots on my Kronos. So I'll just select this one and have a look. It's a G123, and my Kronos empty EXi banks are from G123 to 127. So I'm going to type that in, G123, and I'm just going to drag this down. G123, 127. There you go. So the next thing I'm going to do is load these programs into my Kronos. I'll go back to disk mode and go up from my PCG. So I opened that Kronos Booster Pack PCG, and I'm going to look for the programs folder and open that. And I can see here that I required G108, G119, and G120. I'm going to go to the user bank, G, and I need G108. So I'm going to load G108 into the HD1 bank of the Kronos under EE109. Load, and I'm going to choose EE109. And there it is, EE109, and load. And there you go, EE109 has been loaded. So now that I've loaded G108 into EE109, I'm going to type it here that G108 has been loaded into EE109, and I can go to the next. So I'll just go back to disk mode, and the next sounds that I need are G119 and G120. And I'll just look for that here in the PCG. So I am looking for G119 and 120. Since they're consecutive, I can select that, press multiple select, and I'll have both, and I'll load it, and it will go to 110 and 111. So all I need to do is go to EE. There it is, EE110. And when I select EE110, the second one will go to EE111. So it's writing it there and doing it for the next one as well. So now if I go to program EE, so this program from EE109 is used for 2 combis. So 1984 and She Blinded Me with Science. 109, 110, and 111. So here on my spreadsheet, I'm going to do the same thing. G119 and G120. All right. Now let's go to the EXi sounds. So I'm going to go to disk mode and locate the GG folder. Select that. And I need GG112 and GG113. So I'll open that one. GG112. Select that. Press multiple select and select GG113 as well. And press load. And in this case, I'll be putting it in G123. So I'll just go there, user G123. And this is the EXi. So G123, OK. Press OK. And I have to make sure that I note it down on my spreadsheet. So when I fix it, it'll be easy. So you can see in my spreadsheet that G108 is now on EE109, G119 is in EE110, and G120 is in EE111. And for the EXi sounds, my GG112 is now in G123, GG113 is now in G124. So what I'm going to do is go back to my combination and just correct the positions of these combis. So all I need to do is select the program in the timbre, and it says G119. I simply match G119 with EE110. So I press E and E at the same time and type in 110. And look at that. And it says SBMWS, or She Blinded Me with Science. And I'll do the same thing for here. GG112 is G123. So I just press user G123. 123. And there you go. It displays the correct sound. I select the next one. It says GG113, which is G124. So user G124. Next one. We're done. Press the record write button and update combination. So we've loaded the combi, but I'm still missing some sounds because I haven't loaded the samples yet. So just load the samples as prescribed in the instructions. So I'm going to go to global, KSC autoload, add KSC, go to the Kronos booster pack version 3 NARF sounds, open that one, sample data, open, select the user bank, add, and there it is. Do auto load now and OK. And that's loaded. And so now that's all loaded and my combi is working perfectly. Now, if the combi is missing some drum tracks or some of the sounds are acting funny, that could mean that you still need to load the rest of the PCG. So if you open that one and open the PCG file, you'll find that there's other data associated with the sounds. So it might require the wave sequences and drum patterns. If the drums or the wave sequences aren't working, just simply select that and load. And same with the drum patterns, and those sounds should work. So ideally, it's recommended to use the PCG Tools app for the PC. But if you haven't got a PC, this is the next best way to do it. So I hope that helped. Thank you very much for watching. See ya. Bye.